I'm calling a cat.
All right, welcome to POPCast, episode, what is this, 12 or 11?
12, yeah.
Episode 12, season 2. We got G in the house, and we got producer Wes. Hey, man, some sweat-hogging mama with a face like a gent said my get up and go must have got up and went, but I got good news. She's a real good liar, because my backstage boogie will set your pants on fire. Name that tune.
I just want to be
that's
commended.
Aerosmith, right?
Yep, good call. Ding, 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 ding.
I'd like to be commended because I didn't interrupt him.
Good job.
No, you jumped the gun on it, though. You always have to have the first word. I don't know.
did a
what
little
that is.
cat calling.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
You crazy kids.
That's how you
I like
pick
my
up girls
cat.
now.
My cat is in good shape. Are we going to talk about
Here are the topics, man. Y'all
What are
ready
we
to
talking
talk about some
Ukraine?
topics?
Ukraine?
Dude, the first thing that I want to talk about is, I think tonight we're going to talk about, I want to cancel everything. I'm tired of all this. The pros and cons of drunk driving. Kids in Maryland get approved for gender reassignment by their parents
In kindergarten?
before they can even speak.
Right.
Which, thank God, man. Just change the stuff
Think
out.
about it. That's what Catholics do. They gender reassign you by cutting the end of your penis off.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Well timed.
Great to be back tonight.
Yeah.
Is it what uncircumcised or circumcised?
Are we talking
penises?
penis stuff already?
That you just
kicked
talked
right
about
out of the gates.
gender valmorification, and that's what that is.
I know. It is wonderful.
I didn't choose to be circumcised.
I was a female and I had a giant dong attached to me, and it works pretty good. Works for me, at least.
Yep.
Okay, producer Wes, man, what have you been out there doing?
Oh, man. I've been working.
Rock
playing music.
starring?
Yeah, playing music. You know, they just opened up a Panorama downtown.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You have to wear a mask
No.
Underwear optional?
I mean, yeah, I guess. They don't, check.
on Thursdays. Thursdays only.
Thursdays only.
Yeah.
Well, and gee, didn't you just come back from Jamaica, man? You
I survived.
Jamaican me horny, baby.
Nah, not there. Not there. I wouldn't go. I love the people. I somewhat love the beaches. The water was kind of cloudy. C+. Sandals, C+.
Any reggae? You listen to any reggae?
All day.
Every day, man.
And then it was kind of cruise shippy at the pool.
What you talking about?
No, they play the, okay, we're going to get everybody up on the dance floor. And I'm thinking,
Time to limbo.
motherfucker. I mean, I paid money to come to this thing, and I got to listen to this nonsense.
Dude, you're an international star now.
Well,
You
they
went for
made
the
me into one.
It was the Podcast Awards, wasn't it?
They did mention the podcast.
And yes, did you win an award?
No. There was no awards given out. Thank God. Because then
Man.
I'd have to go back next year to defend, and I don't want to go.
Hey, Wes, I want to take some of these excerpts, and we'll do it quick tonight and all that, but I want to get that blip board in Times Square going.
Cool.
We got everything we need. I just need the pixels, and then we can really start screwing with people. Back to you, Rockstar. You're playing in a rock band that you get paid good money around here, and then you have a jazz band you're doing too, right?
That's right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I play with. So Jay Ecker is one of the owners of Panorama and Rick and Jack's.
Oh,
Can
can't
you
name
say
names.
his name?
Yeah, it's common knowledge. You can Google that and find it. The name of the group is the Jay Ecker Quartet. Quintet.
What about when we get sued and canceled for being politically incorrect? And now his name's out
I'll
there.
put a disclaimer right here. So Jay
Poor
Ecker
Jay.
is not affiliated with this podcast, nor does he endorse anything we do or say.
But he's listened.
We're
No one
covered.
does.
Obviously, he's listening.
Why would he start? No one else is.
When you before you go on stage and you put the little corn cob hat on with the vest and that thing around your arm, And you're doing the quartet thing? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's a cappella. He's got a couple dudes. They
What do you
sing.
call it? Barbershop quartet.
Oh,
Is that what we're talking about?
No, quartet just means 4 people.
It sounds a lot
It's
like
actually
Billy
quartet.
Joel Uptown stuff.
It's jazz, but it's like pop stuff and rock stuff and funk stuff and whatever you want to hear.
As a Papa Rucka Funk.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. I
Every
love that.
Sunday and every Tuesday night, Rick and Jackson Panorama.
Is there brunch involved?
There is a Sunday brunch, but there's no jazz there for that. Luna has a Sunday brunch.
jazz brunch. That's really all that
Why are we
is.
giving all these people advertising, man? This is crazy.
People hadn't paid us yet.
So
So you
a
can
lot
come
of chicks?
listen to my music.
You get a lot of chicks?
Oh, there's chicks.
You been banging a bunch?
Well,
I mean,
at the brunch.
enough.
you know, rock stars.
Less
how it
than
is.
I want, but more than I need.
Speaking of rock stars, I'm going
That's
to the...
weird. You're schlepping chicks at brunch? Man, that's
No, I
impressive.
don't do brunch.
couple of Bloody Marys and mimosas.
Chicks
and you're gonna get the
fucking love
mimosa
brunch.
out of that brunch.
Chicks dig brunch.
Chicks stick brunch.
Yeah, dude, you're
Hot
gonna get
for
a...
brunch.
Bottomless mimosas for your bottomless girls.
Have y'all seen that website, Bang Brunch?
They bang a brunch.
It's
They're gonna-
Japanese. We bang a brunch.
They're not going to let me in church again.
Why? Because you keep throwing up and your head spins?
Is that
Keep
what he
bringing
did
in
with-
these bottomless girls. To
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Where's the wine line at again? There's just
Here comes brunch boy. He's going to ruin it for everybody. Hey, man, it's my
GQ.
job.
Help me. I mean, that's what happens when I go to church. I don't know about y'all. I start sweating like crazy. And I just see the Exorcist movie over in Damien Omen in my head.
I just burst into flames every time.
You spontaneously combust like the drummer from Spinal Tap.
Right, exactly.
That was funny.
Yep.
Yeah, when I go to church, people around me just kind of dope.
Man, can I ask y'all a question? How disappointed are you with men? I think we need to cancel the word men, and it should be
Man or
cancel
men?
men, male, mailman, anything having to do.
What if the mailman's a woman, male person?
It's a human
Male
thing.
humans.
No male. Get rid of that. It's so offensive. And I am
Post-humans.
a white male, but I identify as a penguin.
Right.
You have to now, otherwise
Oh.
you're not accepted. So tell me what man does wrong.
God, I hate those words.
No, tell me what they do wrong.
Oh, God, where do we start?
Well,
Toxic
Everything
masculinity.
awful that's ever happened in America was male generated. Like the Eiffel Tower, science, fire, wheel.
Eiffel Tower was French.
It's terrible what men have
He
done
said
to
America
this
and then he
planet.
jumped to France.
The wheel was probably like some
dude.
Aboriginal Africans or something, right?
Right.
I don't know.
You know, history has a
So
lot
we're
of...
Americans, though.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, we got to ban the word
That's
American.
even-
I hate it.
It's even worse until they need us.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we're the saviors. Where's America? Ukraine's saying it now. Wait a minute. Just 5 months ago, you were brokering deals with Junior Biden.
No,
So-
that's not true. He wouldn't do that.
Bullshit. That was one of the most corrupt countries on the planet. And now they're championed because they're fighting Russians. And killing Russians are a good thing.
It is?
I
Really?
mean,
Yes.
at the same
Killing's not
time,
good.
the Russians are like invading their country, basically. They're
No.
about?
they're
No, I
committing
get it.
genocide.
Yes. And they should be killed. All the
Dude.
Russians, even kill them all.
Okay.
POPCast says kill all Russians.
I don't agree with that.
No.
No, I meant
That
it.
was.
I knew
I
a
saw
Russian
a.
guy. He was great.
I think I said this at the last podcast, but there was this
Oh,
man
I
on the
shit my
street,
pants?
man on the street interview, and I may have done that, but there was they were asking kids at the university, "Hey, is it okay to nuclear bomb America? Would it be justified?"
I would disagree with that because that really kind of ruins my summer plans.
Let me just tell you, there was a lot of kids in Moscow at the university that said,
And then CNN said, they just said bomb America.
They did.
And they really said,
No,
what are you
they were
doing? I
on
don't
the-
understand the question.
They said, would it be justified to throw nuclear weapons at the United States? And what I think everybody forgets, and during this, and I won't go too deep into this, but
It's the
I
Power of
watch the
Pessimism
news.
podcast. So
I
go
do.
ahead.
I watch the news, and I think everybody forgot that they're fucking with the wrong people when they dick around with America.
America.
Think about it. Russia can't even move in on Ukraine and take them in 8 days.
America.
It's day 40.
That had nothing to do with America.
No. They made it. They made it
Save.
something to do with America because everybody looks to America to lead, and we have a wimpy leader right now.
I disagree with that.
They look to us to lead because we're handsome,
No.
cool, and fast.
I think the general international consensus is completely different than that. They don't look to America to lead. I think American citizens have that perception that that's what everyone else in the world thinks is because we're the best and most powerful country, so we should be the world police or whatever.
You're not
but that's
saying
not
the
case.
most handsome either. You
And
keep
most
leaving-
obviously
leave that
most
out.
handsome, you know.
And talented.
You jump the gun,
Well,
but
Japan's a thing. Come on.
you jump
I
the
like
gun.
Japan.
You jump the gun, but then you got it right the second time.
Okay, what do you mean?
We're not the best country.
No, that's what Americans think is that we're the best country. I was being the average
50%.
American.
I'd say I would argue that 50% of the people in America do not
Which
think we're the best
50%?
country.
Maybe.
They vote Democrat, by the way.
So America is, it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't
No, I mean,
mind
I'm
it.
not being mean. I'm just
I don't
pointing out
mind.
a normal.
Chicks
Y'all-
are easy.
Did y'all ever watch? There was a show called The Newsroom by Andy Sorkin. Are y'all familiar with that?
That name is very
The
familiar.
name is
The
familiar.
opening scene from season 1, episode 1 is really famous, and it got shared around and stuff.
What show is this again?
The Newsroom.
Okay.
The
Oh,
Andy
yeah,
Sorkin
yeah.
show.
It's Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, and,
Yeah,
and he does
is
America.
Daniels.
Yes, fabulous speech.
Is America?
Yeah.
You asked me, is America the best? And he goes on that rant.
Yeah.
It used to
Yeah, you
be.
should
And he
look it
makes a
up.
lot of good points about how we're like dead last in education
But we're not.
healthcare. We're not dead
Well,
last.
but
Yeah,
we're not
but
first.
we're not.
We're not first. Yeah, and
And if
his
you're
point
not
was
first, you're last.
Could be. But what you said earlier is when you look at the rest of the world, and maybe it's American television and I'm only watching what the excerpt says, but when Haiti gets in trouble, I don't see
Where's Haiti? What is that?
it's right next to Jamaica.
Wait, that's some folklore, man.
It's
You go
really
to Hades.
It's a tough place to grow up. And when they're dying in the streets, hurricanes, drug-related death, whatever, it's always, why can't America come in and help us?
Well, that's what
Who's
you
saying
see
that?
on American
That's
American
exactly what I was
propagandized
gonna say.
television that's pro-war.
Yes.
No.
Well, who's saying the Haitians are saying that?
Oh, I don't even speak
didn't know
Haitian.
that.
How do you know that?
Yep. Let me ask you
Yep.
this. During World War II in 1935, when everything started, who were they looking to enter the war?
They wanted the Americans
Yes. Why?
because we are fast, cool, and handsome.
No, I just think that
We were allied with the British and the French and
Guys, it
those
all
guys.
comes
and
down.
we had money and we had
Economic
people
power.
and we had men and equipment.
And it was feasibly implausible for Germany to try to stop us from supplying.
We had the best military in the world. That's why they wanted us in there.
No, we didn't. We developed
we
it.
did. How
We
dare
developed
you.
it over a very, very quick part of time. And if you look at after Pearl Harbor, Hirohito, who bombed Pearl Harbor, he was the head guy from the Japanese
Conspiracy
Navy.
theorists say that FDR knew about it, but he knew that would be the only way we'd get into the war. Some
Well-
people believe it, some don't.
Well, but I guess
We
the
got in the war.
idea is what did he say after the Battle of Pearl Harbor?
And you know that
He said, wait, what did he say?
after the Battle of Pearl Harbor,
He said,
"This is a day that would live in infamy."
No, that was the guy.
Snyder.
No, that was the guy with the top hat. Churchill.
Keep calm and carry on.
There was no. This is a day that live in infamy. That was the U.S. president. So wait,
that was
Hirohito. If I have this correct, he said, "All I believe we just did was to awaken a sleeping giant
by design."
And for Japan, no, they got their asses kicked.
Japan didn't fully understand. There's a big time difference. They were waking up at different time. They were trying to be fair, but it was a timeline thing. It's not that they were mean.
That guy, yes, they were. They killed more Chinese than Germany ever killed Russians.
Well, why are you worried about all that kind of other stuff in the playground?
Because we were talking about why is America always called upon to solve these problems. Well, because let's face it, we're the only country who can do it correctly and do it nice
with style and ammunitions.
Yep. And we'll kill all the bad people, and we're the good guy. And you just need to accept the fact that we're the good guy. Over. And sometimes good guys are mean, and sometimes they make mistakes.
Confessions of an Economic Hitman.
So it works every time, and we should always do that, right?
No,
we're not that good of guys anymore.
Look at Afghanistan. The last 20 years, what happened there? We were the world police and tried to go in there to stop terrorism for everybody, and
weapons of mass destruction.
That didn't work out.
It didn't work for Russia either.
No, it didn't. That's my exact point. We shouldn't be meddling in foreign affairs. I think our position on Ukraine right now is like kind of just standoffish.
Putin's like, I would have gotten away. I would have gotten away with it, whatever your meddling kids.
Well, we didn't really do anything.
We had meddled jet.
Exactly.
Putin.
Here's the thing about that, and you can look it up and tell me if I'm wrong. Several years ago,
a galaxy far away,
the Ukraine government signed, in a sense, an armistice with the United States and Western Europe and said, we're going to not have nuclear weapons in Ukraine. And in exchange for that, we're going to get protection from Russia doing exactly what they did in 2008, 14, and today.
Yeah.
And so who shit the bed on that one?
Russia?
It wasn't Ukraine. It was Western Europe. And it was the United States.
It was my understanding that agreement was not to provide protection against Russia, but to not get economic sanctions. So, like we're doing in Iran with the Iranian
I think
nuclear
we may have that. We have to look that up. But my point is, you can't broker deals under one administration, and then the next step. And what was so fabulous about Trump? Love him or hate him.
I love how you lead into your own story, so it just kind of keeps going.
Because if Trump was calling out NATO because NATO wasn't strong enough and carrying their weight and they were going to depend on the United States, and that was his message.
Right.
He was right.
Well, let's
he was right.
Let's fast forward to Ukraine now and this whole thing. One of the issues that the international economic alliances are concerned about is that Russia wants to take over the Ukraine, to take over the channels of oil and gas to Europe, and they want Europe to pay in rubles and not use the dollar as the reserve standard for oil and gas. If they do that,
but they're not doing it.
They're trying to do it.
They're not doing it.
If they take over the Ukraine and get a hold of that, they possibly can. Iran and Saudi are already going with the eyebrow up like, I don't know, maybe we'll pay in rubles.
Let them.
Our economy would drop by 20%. That's the reserve dollar on the planet, and now we're talking world war.
Russia has made more money after the sanctions and the start of the war off oil sales today than they did before.
Can you look that up? I mean, I believe you, but can you look that up? There's no way.
I don't think that's true.
They shut off
Look it up.
Well, they shut off the pipeline to Europe, so I don't see.
No, they have not.
So then they've.
They can't. Otherwise, you can't stop or start U.S. production, put it on a ship, get there in 3 days.
Russia.
Okay, Russia's interest rate doubled since the Ukrainian invasion.
The U.S. interest rate doubled over the last, since Biden got elected. And we're not dead in the water. Look up, all you have to look up is Russia's oil sales. Are they more or less today than they were before the war?
And did they cut off Europe, the pipeline that goes through?
No.
To Europe.
Pipeline is not cut
What
off.
you're talking about is that thing that was supposed to go through Germany that hasn't been completed yet.
They halted it.
They halted the construction. So it was never turned on.
But then Putin said that he was going to, his last threat was to shut off all oil and gas that he provides to Europe. I don't think he did it. It was supposed to happen this week.
He's not going to do it. That's his gravy train.
Wes, look that up. Well, it's his form of sanctions.
I just want to know. I want to know if he's doing better today in oil sales than he did before.
Good question.
I heard that. I read it. I saw it. I'm thinking it's true. I mean, I can't prove it. But
well, I mean, the price per barrel has gone up, so that has something to do with
money.
it. Yeah.
Look, the thing is, Putin has a point when he wants to go into that section of Ukraine and get a warm weather port established for Russia.
Yeah, and I don't understand why everybody hates Putin. He seems like a nice guy.
I'm not saying that. I'm just quit. It's not emotional. It's pragmatic. And that makes sense for him.
Yeah, there it was.
And so he's doing that. But why does he have to go into eastern Ukraine or western Ukraine, and kill all of these people?
It's disgusting, man.
He's setting up to fail. There's no way that
they're not having a lot of success
in this Twitter world. There's no way that they can hide from
this.
That
isn't working out like he planned. I promise you.
There's no way.
They retreated out of main city Kiev, but
Kiev,
but
you and I would call it
the
Kiev
other was
the
the other city they just kind of pulled out of as well.
Mariupol.
Yeah, they're not kicking ass by any means.
No, but they're killing a lot of old civilians with their hands tied behind the
it's
back.
bullshit.
That's fascinatingly dickish. And he is going. When you did this in 2014, you would think that he's never going to get away with this. It's horrible, blah blah. But it feels different this time. It feels different this time because even the Biden administration went out of their way to predict what was going to happen.
Because they helped cause
it. Came
Came
out. Totally right. Right? Say again.
Yeah, they helped cause it.
Oh, well, you could argue that, but
this is all about money and oil sales and power grabs and land
helped
grabs.
Open the door. But I mean, my thought process on Biden is he's exactly who we thought he was. He's a liberal Jimmy Carter.
He's a sleeping Jimmy Carter. I'd take Jimmy Carter over Biden.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. Biden's out there cutting deals for his family. He's got something.
The only reason I'd take Jimmy Carter is because he was such a brilliant man.
Peanut.
And Biden, how dare you make fun of our president, commander-in-chief, on this show, sir? That's just bad.
I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying he's...
Don't say he's ugly because you look like him with some glasses on.
I think he's beautiful. I think the guy looks terrific. I just think he is... he got stuck with a situation that he probably helped create. And he, generally speaking, is more of a European type president.
Well, he's the big guy
than Trump was. And we got stuck with Trump and we got stuck with Biden. I want to know who the next guy who shows up who is a professional politician.
Why does it have to be a man, man? You toxic masculine
Well, we already
pig.
talked about it. Tulsi Gabbard, we love
her.
but we all think the Texas governor, with Tulsi Gabbard, who's a Democrat,
Abbott,
that is the best ticket for America.
There are a lot of people out there saying on the left that Abbott is the reason for inflation because he is not letting the supply lines come through Mexico. I mean, the other side of that, the right wing says, well, we did just bust the largest fentanyl grab in history. Yeah, that happened 3 weeks ago. You're very well informed.
Thanks.
I heard that today too from him.
Oh,
so
but it's true. No, it was giant. It was huge. You didn't hear a lot about it. But you don't hear about it in the mainstream media because it's against the narrative that let the doors open, let everyone in. Yeah, we're a melting pot, but stop the guns and drugs, man. Damn.
Here's the thing. If I asked this question to myself earlier and I answered it. So here's the question to you two guys. If the border was porous,
would you eat it?
Letting in a bunch of Canadians.
Oh, God.
That were voting conservative.
Fucking nooks. No.
What would Biden's stance on this?
I got it.
Atrocity be?
I know what it would be. I got it. Give me a second. Let me.
Okay. I'll give you 3 choices. Yes. No. No. You got to wake up, Joseph, and tell me what's going on.
Is it time for my pudding? Come on, man.
Pudding. Why pudding?
Because it's easy on my teeth, man. I got to think of everything around here.
My teeth is all falling out. So seriously, if they knew Mexicans were going to come in and eventually vote conservative,
man, what do you
would
think
they be aggressive
do,
about opening up the gates?
Hey,
the answer is no.
Man, don't you speak for the Mexicans, man. You don't know shit about the Mexicans, bro.
They're trying to flip Texas.
What are they going to do with it, man? They're going to put some hydraulics on it and flip it, bro.
They're trying to flip Texas.
And
if they turn it blue, they've got the presidency for the rest of the
Mexicans are too smart, man. They're not going to fall for that bull crap where, come in, let you vote, do all this stuff. They are coming here to work, make money for their families, and that's it. Eat tacos and have quinceañeras.
All the guys who work for me, not for me, with me, because I don't.
And I mean that in a good way. I'm not dogging on them.
Number one, they don't vote.
Why should they?
And number 2, they don't like Biden.
What I mean, why should they? Not like, constitutionally, why should they? No, man, fuck it. Just come here and work and take your money back to Mexico and live on the good side of the border. The safer side in a lot of ways. At least they don't have the inflation that we do.
We've said it all along. Build borders. Just put a lot of gates in.
Build back borders better.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, I think Kamala almost went down to the border, even though she's the czar of the border issue. I think she thought about going down there. That's my Kamala imitation.
Can you believe that I thought she was the answer?
Well, you just thought she was cute, man.
Yeah, I was. Dude, you
take AOC's brain out of her head. I had a really cool dream with AOC. She was in love with me. And you know what? I didn't care about her politics. I was only worried about her perfect breasts.
And sounds like all my Tinder dates.
No, I just
you've seen her breasts.
What I'm doing,
Playboy.
What I'm doing is I'm objectifying her as I'm dismissing her.
Right.
This is a 2-tiered
and
joke.
Mansplaining is the joke.
But
established
she is
horrible.
She is cute. You got to admit, she is cute.
Oh yeah. She is.
Hey, if you're going to get beer, would you grab 2 back there, G?
I'm not getting a beer.
Would you anyway, though?
He's going tinkle.
If I go do something else, do I have to get a beer?
Yeah, just don't splatter shot everywhere.
Oh, my God. What happened?
Just sit. You got to sit.
Okay, so we hit the Ukraine, I think, well enough.
Yeah. Those
poor people, God bless them, man. That's not good, man. Seriously. No. It's sad. It's Putin is a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. He can't do that. You can't do that to people. I mean, you are given incredible power to do the right things if you want to.
Right.
and be a Catherine the Great, not a Rasputin.
But what's his motivation for that? He's been not even a slap on the wrist for doing like anything. Like nothing happened when he invaded Crimea.
I know the answer.
I mean, oil money. 60% of the Russian economy is based on oil exports.
And if he gets this Ukraine, he can become the largest exporter and supersede America.
Right. Oh,
as far as exportation of oil and gas.
Yeah.
And I think shale possibly. That might have to, LNG.
Yeah.
Might have to look into that deeper, but that is one of the overwhelming motivations. It never comes down to, I don't like you because of the color of your skin.
Right.
I just need your resources to make a ton of money.
But what I'm saying is, what's his motivation for, as you said, doing the right thing?
Like, no, he's definitely not.
No, he's not, because the international community just doesn't care. They look the other way when shit like this happens.
Speaking of international community, can you imagine being the pariah of the planet? Think about that. People get insecure when they think two people at a party don't like them. What about if it is the entire planet going, you are an asshole?
Well, you just stay in your little crazy fucking house that looks like a gingerbread house and have your minions poison people that have dissenting opinions.
Wait a second. He has a gingerbread house?
Have you?
I underestimated him.
Right? Have you seen pictures of the Kremlin?
Can you eat it? No, you mean the Kremlin.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I have. I haven't seen it in person, but I've heard in person it's majestic.
Yeah.
The history of Russia is like China. It goes way, way, way back. And, And what some of the scientists, I listen to Coast AM a lot, and some of the scientists are saying that we completely underestimate Russia and the tech that they have on lockdown with the KGB that no one speaks of. Because they don't tell the general public and they don't tell the planet. They play their cards like it's they're at the casino, man.
They don't even tell each other. The information's so compartmentalized that this military branch doesn't know what the other one's doing.
Well, that's the same here in the States, too.
You're right.
Very compartmentalized.
Yeah.
That's how military can work. If everybody just has a mission and you're not worried about other stuff, it's a plan that works. Here's something. What do y'all think of the pros and cons of drunk driving? My favorite thing to do when I'm drunk driving is speed. And I have 2 toddlers. But, man, they have those baby Bjorn seats that probably aren't hooked up correctly. But, dude, what are the chances? Everything's cool. Speeding is my favorite. What's yours?
We just lost like 6 viewers.
No, we just actually brought everyone back because no one wants to hear about the
this
Ukraine.
This is a podcast, so we don't have viewers
anymore.
We have listeners.
Maybe that's why we lost it.
We lost them. Yeah, I don't know why you were viewing it.
That's not true. My mom's listening, and my pastor. I don't have a pastor. I'm just kidding.
Pastor, I hardly knew her.
Oh yeah.
Didn't we go over when we went to church? What happens?
Yes. I just vomit a lot.
People shake their heads and look at me like I don't belong.
Well, it's because your eyes are red and they see the horns and the hoofed feet. Okay, so the pros and cons of drunk driving. What are your favorite things to do?
It relaxes me.
It relaxes you. Excellent.
I'm able to make quicker decisions.
You save money on Ubers.
Good decisions like drive across the grass of this yard instead of waiting for the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shortcuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of drunk driving.
Man, did y'all see last night there was a bad wreck on the bridge between Louisiana and Texas?
No, I did not.
So I-10 eastbound going into Louisiana, there was a drunk driver that was driving westbound. Yeah, in the eastbound lane. And so that part in the first 4 miles of Louisiana where it's still under construction and there's just concrete barriers and no shoulder.
No.
2 18-wheelers side by side. And the guy's coming head on and hits them both head on. There were multiple fatalities. I got to look the article up to get the information, but
In
the drunk car fatalities.
Yeah.
So that's a con for sure.
Yeah.
Poor guy in the. But you never saw it coming, dude. He's like these. These motherfuckers are in my line.
Texas on-ramps are challenging for people not from Texas.
You think
But he
those
came
are
from
bad?
Louisiana.
But probably.
No, this happened in Louisiana is what I was saying.
Oh, really?
So
I mean, he was from Louisiana.
he was going westbound in the eastbound lane, if that
See,
makes
he
sense.
didn't even know where he was going.
Right.
Jeez Louise, that's awful, man.
I'll tell you what's funny. In Jamaica, you got to drive on the left side of the road.
Oh, you just came back
Really?
from Jamaica, man. What was some of the cool stuff you saw? Was it the the human trafficking or the
There's only cool stuff.
incredible amounts of ganja?
Didn't see one ganja.
What is it? You didn't see one ganja drug?
Not one ganja. I didn't see the airport was not. I mean, not great. And then we got on a bus, and that bus went from Montego Bay to Sandals, the place we went.
You went to Sandals, dude? I didn't know you were a swinger.
That's what I said. So my wife
Cool,
and I,
man.
when we got to Sandals, she said, I was sitting around looking at people, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm picking out who we're swinging with."
I'm talking about wife swapping, huh?
She's like, "What?" And when I mentioned that to everybody else, they said, "No,
You're like,
dumbass."
nothing. I'm going to go get a hamburger.
Well, they said, "Dumbass, that's hedonism next door." And I said, "Let's go to hedonism."
What was happening there? Could you see some straight anal or what?
You know what's funny is
Don't get in the pool.
it wasn't at our place. It was at a different Sandals at another part of the.
Did you go to
island.
Mandels? Because that's completely different from what
You
you're
would have
talking
think
about.
I was at Mandels.
Stop it.
Well, they actually had some, good bathing suit.
What do you do when you need to spook? Go to Mandels. Mandels.
Did I miss something?
You may not be gay, but if you just want to stay, come over to Mandels. Mandels.
Well, I'm
Tonight,
not going
Brokeback Mountain 3, the old dirt road
the new dirt road.
in 3D. Oh, much applause. There was much rejoicing. Yeah.
I am not going to go back
To being straight.
to Jamaica.
Why, man? It was kind of off?
It was C plus.
Like what, man? Tell us. What would you see you liked, you didn't like, or was weird?
The people are, what's a kind word? Lazy.
Yeah. They
okay.
have like
Island
7
time.
jobs, dude. You've
Island
seen that on In Living Color with the Wayans brothers. They have
took-
like 7 jobs.
It took a long time, when you sat at the restaurant and
They're like, oh God, we got another one, man.
that's, yeah. And it was,
Give me
that was
the
more
juice,
Indian,
man.
I think, than anything. But
I got to get into it. I had some Jamaicans that worked with me. I got to work into it.
okay, well, yes, it'll come.
Yeah.
But the resort was serviceable. The food was C.
I want to hear more about hedonism.
I didn't go. It wasn't there. That was at a different one.
Do they hand out like free condoms and the day after pill everywhere?
I wanted to walk down the beach, but I was told if I leave the compound, I could be killed. Jamaica's a rough place.
That's what you want to hear from your all-inclusive resort. If you
don't
leave, hey, man, you might get killed.
In fact, when we were on the bus coming back, because we didn't leave because we had family there and we had a wedding and it was great. Everything was great. But
Love a wedding.
on this godforsaken drive from the Sandals Resort, Sandals South, back to Mandalay Bay, you had to go over the mountains. And it's treacherous. I mean, it is, cars coming at each other because there's potholes and they dodge each other at the last second.
It's like Romancing the Stone, that movie where Michael Douglas is in there. They almost go off the road 10 times.
I'm so proud that I don't know what you're talking about.
Not to be confused with Romancing the Bone. Romancing the Stone, the 1983 movie with Danny DeVito and Mike Douglas. It's good.
I won't watch it and check. But
It's a poor man's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
here's the lost art. Well, Was it a spoof on that?
No, they were serious.
I don't like the girl in Romancing the Stone.
Kathleen Turner. She looks like a 78-year-old Jewish grandfather right now.
Not a fan.
She does not look too good. That's what she sounds like right there.
She was the second coming or first coming of Kelly McGillis in Top Gun, whom I never thought was attractive.
Truth be told, she was 36 and like Tom Cruise was like early 20s. They made jokes about that all over the place. Yeah, she was like a grandma.
It was bad casting.
Like she had a gray bush.
Something.
That's what turned Tom gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's what hit it?
That's what it was.
That was it, yeah.
So anyway, so we're driving through the mountains at breakneck 26K.
In like an old school bus that you rode to school in?
It was so uncomfortable. And I'm get seasick and car sick now, so I wasn't doing well.
Oh man!
And I'm sitting on the bus. This really nice dude and his beautiful wife was sitting behind me.
From hedonism?
Well, maybe we could have hooked up if we met him earlier. And I said, "Did y'all have fun?" He said, we did good. And I was like, "Okay."
What does that mean?
I know. I was like,
they got out of there with no chlamydia?
And he goes, "You know what we did?
We did good."
I said, "You know what we did?" He said, "You know what we did? We got in a cab and left the resort because we wanted to go see what was going on
really
in town."
Down in there.
And I said, "Really? Was that smart to do?" And he goes, "Well, we figured we would be okay."
Was he ex-military?
They were Black Americans, and the guy was sharp as a tack, and it was just, he was telling me basically, and he ended up telling me, for you and your blonde wife to do what we did would have been an absolute fucking mistake.
Well, and that's cool of him to fill you in,
and I was
man.
like, well, we never even thought about leaving. And he goes, and I looked at his wife and I said, "What was it? It was rough." And she said, it was
scary,
rough. These people have it rough.
Yeah, and I don't seriously, that kind of throws
Bums
you back
out.
And the fact that this gentleman was cool enough to tell you that,
that
told right
us.
there
We didn't
tells
ask
you that.
him.
Okay, well, one, that in Jamaica, it's not a color thing; it's a culture thing. Because even they who are African American were kind of spooked about the deal.
Look, the reality is, and he said it, we can go back there and we weren't safe. You go back there, you're in trouble.
Like, dude, I'd be safe because I identify as an African American from the waist down.
That'll be fine.
I'd have been fine.
I heard some really, it's rough. The word she used was perfect, and I don't think it was rough, but I think
she was like, if you go in there, you're fucked.
But she said, these people have it tough, rough, or something.
They're desperate. They're desperate folks.
And the way she described it, I was like, oh man, it sucks for them.
Well, thank God the planet spends $400 gazillion billion on war machines, and these poor people can't eat.
Right.
Something, what's wrong? Something's wrong with that.
Perfectly balanced society.
They just can't
enjoy life.
They just don't. It's just a mean society.
These are the hard-hitting things that POPCast is going to talk about.
And that's why you see the music of Jamaica, Bob Marley and all that, talking about freedom, and it was explained to us. Freedom, it's very, very poor, and it's very difficult to get anything going as a normal citizen where you can better yourself and go buy a house and have a job and raise a family.
To be corrupt.
Very corrupt, I guess. I don't know. But, if you listen to their words, and people think that he's singing about America. We were talking about this earlier. America's not the center of the fucking universe.
Wait, Bob Marley
singing
didn't really
about
sing
Jamaica.
About America. No, no one thought that but you.
No, bullshit.
I mean, Buffalo Soldier is the only thing that's close to him speaking about the Buffalo Soldiers in America.
You don't think that these young, dumb American kids, which we used to be a part of,
Hey, we
think
were
that
proud.
he's representing me.
No.
He ain't fucking representing you. That dude grew up under scrutiny.
This is news to me. That Bob Marley was... Americans thought he was singing to them and not his homeland of Jamaica.
Yes. Yes.
Well, the one thing he did do...
I identify with Bob. You don't know the first fucking thing that happened to him because Americans are soft and have it easy.
Yeah, well, he was talking about the plight of the Jamaicans, and it hadn't changed, which sucks. After all of his exposure and everything, it's still the same.
I learned this. When did Jamaicans earn their independence from the Queen?
Oh, not that long ago, right?
Never. I will say never.
Okay.
1961 or 2.
I would have thought it was more recently than that.
Me too. I was born in 67, and I was like, God, that's 5 years. So they've been doing it on their own.
Yeah.
It's not working out.
It's not.
It's not. I feel bad for the general population.
But are they better off?
Have you ever come back from a vacation more depressed than when you left?
No.
This is the first?
I'm just drunk. I'm still drunk.
Oh, you were partying?
How could you not?
Yeah.
What else was there to do?
In Rome.
Was the facility fun and the beach good?
No.
Awesome.
The people were fun because we brought our own crowd.
This
right?
is the travel agency portion of the show, and Jamaica is not doing well.
Well, I wouldn't say that. If you're a Jamaican, you might be having a good time, but
well, no. As far as a vacation to Mandels and hedonism, it wasn't all that. You're saying?
I would never go back.
We can ask you a straight question. Actually, you answered it for us.
I wouldn't go back.
Man, are you psychic?
And I won't go to Mexico right now because I hear that's dangerous.
And I do love Mexico.
Me too.
Personally, cool. I'm associated with Mexican restaurants, and I love Mexico, man.
I love the people. I love the food.
They'll get it back.
Everything. It's too dangerous.
I mean, it is, and a lot of the Mexican families and people that I know, and I got to tell y'all, and this is to our podcast, 12 listeners, the band Hash, their name's Haley and Ashley, and I actually have met them a couple times and know their parents. Their dad was my tennis instructor as a kid. These girls are giant across the planet, and if anything good is, which a million things could have come out of Mexico, these kids, they're on tour right now, so that's kind of where I'm taking this. Hash, Haley and Ashley, and they're I can't say his name, but you know them. They're from the families from here. You see them all the time. You didn't know that their daughters are the biggest rock stars south of the border, all the way down to Argentina and Chile. Oh yeah, dude, they're bigger.
Why can't
than
we get backstage
if
tickets?
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and Axl Rose reunited with Jimi Hendrix to start a band, they would not be as popular as these girls.
Really?
I'm not
I didn't
kidding.
know that.
Damn.
That's good for them.
Well, because you want to talk about polarization as Americans, we're thinking, hey, if you can make it in the music industry in America, you're set. How about make it in south of the border all the way into South America?
Make a fortune.
How many more ears are there and eyeballs?
Oh, yeah.
This happened the other day. So I'm on my roof and I'm hanging with my boys, my Mexican friends. Yeah, your situation will come up. You have to remind me of that. But so we had and my guys are Mexican Americans. I mean,
did they go to night school and take Spanish and make a B?
No, they went to high school and did
John.
well in Texas, and then they come over here to work with me, and I love them.
Hey man, they work
completely.
dude. They're cool.
Okay, and so we're on the roof, and there was a Mexican song playing on the radio, and
was it 1 ton tomato?
Oh no, but it was so funny because the guy was speaking in Spanish and singing, and I started singing the song, and they were like, "Do you know this song?" And I was like, "No," and they were said like, "Well, how do you know? Do you know the words?" And I was like, "What do you mean words?" And they said, "Well, you were singing the song," and I was like, "Well, he's not saying anything." And they were like, "What do you mean?" He's speaking in Spanish. I was like, "Dude," I said, you got to understand when they're singing this
like
stuff, he's not
scatting
actually
like jazz?
saying anything. He's just gibberish."
Like Ella Fitzgerald going, "Bobbidi-bee-bop,
Yes.
bobbidi-bee-bop."
I was trying to convince him that the Spanish language was really just not real. And they were cracking up. And then my friend drives by.
Sweet D.
And says, and screams out the window, "I love you, G.
I'm pregnant.
I'm pregnant."
I love you in a dude voice.
And they were like, "Who was that?" And I was like, "I don't know." And
Never met him.
They were like, "Oh."
and they were like, "What did he yell at you?" And I said, "Yeah, he said said he was pregnant." And they were like, "Pregnant?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's pretty cute." But, and they're all cracking up and everything.
But you did get my message.
Yeah, and 20 minutes later, I get a text and it said, "What?
The test came out negative, it's not yours."
It's not yours. And I start laughing. I'm reading it and I start laughing.
I identify as a woman and I want to have a baby.
And the guys asked me, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "That dude who drove by said he was pregnant." And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "He said it wasn't mine."
Groundworks guys that were working across the street from you.
Yes.
These guys were working in the yard doing landscaping, and they're Anglo-Saxon Americans, and they heard everything I said because it was loud. I did it loud. I'm going to move the microphone away. I was like, "GQ, I love you. I'm pregnant.
I love you," and drives away. And that's so
Good
funny
times.
because I said, "That's the," and they're like, "Oh yeah," because they know you.
No, you can't say that
I
stuff.
believed it.
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought that was a.
We can't give away our identity because the things that we speak about are
We're
so
being positive.
controversial.
We are positive
It's
people,
fine.
and
Yeah.
we don't hurt anybody.
The power of pessimism. What is your favorite phrase?
Okay, hit
And
me.
you've come up with a ton of them for our book that'll never get released, but it might. And what is one of your favorites? I know what my favorite of yours is, of the phrases.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
No, it's the one you use at parties, man. Whenever we just started hanging out and we'd be at these haughty-taughty Southern parties.
Every silver lining has a dark cloud or something, like that.
And someone would come up to GQ and go, "Hey, man, honestly, how are you doing? Good to see you." And you would say things like,
"Oh my God, if you put
"Every
me on the
day's a
spot-
struggle."
Every day's a struggle," and people don't know me, and they start laughing, and I'm like, I'm not joking. And somehow I look dorky enough where they say, "Oh, this guy's being funny." No, I'm
Right.
serious. Today was a struggle.
Go to bed drunk and wake up angry.
That was
No, you got it backwards. It's go to bed drunk and angry and wake up scared.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
I go to bed angry and wake up scared. No, go to bed drunk and I wake up
Drunk
scared.
and angry. Because
Hey, that happened this morning.
Actually, that was an actual conversation that you and
true.
I had.
It's true. It
Because
happened
we
this
were
morning.
both going through some business stuff and we were not having a good day.
Yeah.
This morning, what time did you get up this morning? What time did you wake up? Not
Oh,
get
man.
up.
Like 3:30 in the morning.
Did you ever go back to sleep?
No, I tried. And I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is funny. I watched the Goldbergs, which I love, but I just could not fall back asleep.
Okay, what time did you wake up?
Shit.
Did your alarm
7?
wake you up?
I woke up actually about 10 minutes before my alarm. It was like 6:40.
And you were just kind of waiting for your
Yeah,
alarm to go
I pulled up my phone, started browsing the internet, like, oh, fucking.
Right. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I do
Yeah.
go back.
Did you go straight to brunchbus.com?
brunch?
Brunch Hub.
Brunch Hub.
Brunch Hub. Is there such a thing? Can I check that out?
Sure. Great. Now I have to buy that domain.
Copyright.
Fuck.
Yeah, whatever you do to buy the domain.
Welcome to the
Redirect it.
brunch bus.
This
You
morning-
can get Eggs Benedict.
Hey.
This morning I wake up, I'm in, laying in bed, and my wife has this damn thing on the side, and when it moves, somehow
Does it go?
it throws light.
It's like a laser clock.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Like, damn it. Now I got to look at that, and I'm not going back to sleep. So I have a couple of decisions.
How many nights in a row has this bothered you?
100.
Why don't you throw a towel over it or something, man?
Because I kind of enjoy the struggle.
You are complex.
So,
you are something.
I've got
else.
smart lights in my house, and my alarm turns on my bedroom lights. So I
When?
can't. Like
Oh, that's
when my
cool,
alarm
man.
goes off at
Whoa.
7, 6:50.
What technology? What software is that? What?
I have
Asshole
Google
technology.
Home and Philips Hue light bulbs.
You have Google Home. You can ask Google.
Turn on the lights, make them different colors. Do all that.
Clean, shoot a laser into my cornhole.
Sure, yeah. Do a
Another
genocide.
laser in my cornhole. Let me ask you this.
Redo the bidet.
Okay, Google, commit genocide. Somebody's phone just went off somewhere.
That's dark, man.
So think when I first wake up, somewhere north of 3:30, like 3:31, 3:33 appears on my phone.
Yeah,
And I lean over and I grab the phone.
every night you tend to hit the same number. Am I
That's
right?
weird. And so I always go to bed early. So I am sleeping kind of early. And I think that 6-hour window. So if I go to sleep at 8, which is my want, man, I'm up at 2.
That's why you go to bed like a normal human being.
I know, but
at
I
10
can't.
or 11, and you wake up at 4 or 5, and it's kind of normal.
I don't think it healthy. So we were I'm laying in bed, and a couple of things always hit me. What do I have to do this morning?
Impending doom is what always
Yes.
hits me.
And you're
Something's
like,
gonna fuck up
Jesus,
today.
What the hell is going on? So this morning, take for example, this morning, I had to be. This is true. I had to be at that meeting that
Right.
we talked about.
AA, sex
And
addicts.
at 8:30, these people were coming in out of town. I was unprepared because
As usual.
I had been to Jamaica,
On.
and I'm thinking
And you're still high as shit.
I'm still drunk. Okay, that was my next thought. Was okay. Wait, I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking I got to be somewhere at 8:30, and I got to be at 2 places at 8.
That's the killer, man.
I got 2 different places at 8 o'clock, but I know if I set 2 meetings, one of those fuckers will be late.
Yeah, or
So I'm
cancel.
good. I'm good. So I
you the
go,
late
and then
one?
the phone. No, I'm always there 10
Was it
minutes
right?
early.
But were you right? One of the other ones
I made
was
all
late?
3 meetings.
Because they were late, like just like
One
you
of
thought.
them was late, and
That's
then
called intuition.
well, it's just called people are busy and you just deal with life, right?
Yeah.
So you should be comfortable if you're me, because I knew that I went to the 8:30 meeting, and we talked about this earlier.
Right.
All I had to do was get in front of them and talk to them and disarm them, charm them, right?
Right. As you do.
Bullshit them.
You go do that,
Sell
and sell them on me, and I'll be fine.
No,
And
gee,
then-
you're good. You're good at that. You were doing my house, and I was getting upset over crazy shit that maybe knew or didn't know anything about. You were like, "It's okay.
It is okay.
It's okay."
It is okay. but I'm laying in bed. All this hits me at once. That means I'm done. I'm not going back to sleep. And then the next question hits me.
Mm-hmm.
How much did I drink last night? because I have to ask that question every day. And I'm like, God damn it, did I drink another bottle of wine?
Right.
When I got home at 4:30 and I started drinking, and then I didn't stop till 8:30 or 9. And then I'm thinking, is this healthy? Am I going to be dead soon? All this hits you, and you're like, you know what? Tonight I'm not going to drink. And that was this morning.
Yeah.
So I wrestle with that for a while, and then I start watching YouTube, and that kind of puts me to sleep. But I can't listen to it.
You have to like watch it.
Watch it and read the script.
Oh, you put the captions on?
Well,
I don't do
if
that.
you read if you're playing a small window, the captions will come up. But I can't see that well. So you're squinting and you're looking and the words are blurry. And somehow that makes me go back to sleep. So then I'll go back to sleep, and that's when you have the best dreams. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And so that's what I look forward to. And then I hope I can remember them. But I normally can't. So when that happens, I'm just sitting around and I go back and I grab my phone, I look at it, now it's 4:10. And I'm like, oh man. Now I'm not on wake up till 6:47. That's my number.
You're already in the wrong cycle. I know what you're talking about.
Man.
And that is the insomniac's lament. That is what happens.
Insomniac. But I already had 6 hours of sleep, so I'm rested. But I don't want to get up and go walk around and do paperwork and do
Honestly,
all those.
and I'm not being sarcastic, Stanford did a study years back about how many hours you need to sleep a night and how it affects your long-term health.
Yeah.
It was 7 at least.
Interesting.
I don't get near that.
Wait,
Because I'm thinking about
what's
how
at
to give
most?
toddlers guns and cigarettes and how to brand it.
But I
get like
sleep
4.5, 5.
Really?
Yeah.
a night.
Yeah.
Dude, you're too
What time
young
do you
for
go
that.
to bed?
1.
Oh, you're so young.
Yeah, but seriously, keep an eye on that, man. Is it because your brain keeps going and thinking?
I just don't get tired until about that time. I don't know why.
Well,
You're young.
and all the jams you're playing, the rock star stuff, it's hard to come
No.
down off
if
that.
I have a show, I don't go to bed until 3:30, 4.
and you
That
don't
would
drink
crush
that
me.
much.
No, not really. I'll have like maybe 1 or 2 drinks a day.
Well, because
If that.
if you drink a bunch after you play rock star stuff, because I know I toured with Stone Temple Pilots in '97.
Wow.
You know
Forgot
that
all about that.
the energy just keeps you up.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're
That's
drinking
the
it,
thing.
it keeps you up till 6 a.m.
Yeah, totally.
And then if you're drinking and boning groupies, you don't sleep for days at a time, I've been told.
Sure. Heard it from a friend.
Who
I
Heard it from a friend.
I don't know anything about that.
heard it from a friend you've been doing drugs and banging around.
That is such a bad song.
Dude, REO Speedwagon sucks. I can't get with them. I love a lot of 70s and 80s bands. I cannot get with REO.
I get that on some songs. I really like Roll with the Changes.
Roll with the changes. It's not
Because it's
bad.
so just because it's so piano heavy.
Yeah, and you're piano dude.
I love playing it. It's a fun
Sing
song
me
to
a
play.
song, you're the piano man.
Exactly.
Name who sang that. Everybody, all of our 12
Piano
listeners.
Man.
Sing me a song, you're piano man.
William Joel.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Okay.
Him.
All right. Are we going to wrap this up?
Hey, there's one. We
still
talked
got
about a
stuff.
topic,
Hit
but
it.
we never talked about the topic.
Okay.
So
I'm in. All in.
Sweet D had mentioned before the show. If I don't know if our listeners paid attention to John Oliver.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're going to enlighten me.
Okay. So if y'all watched this past Sunday's episode, which was the 11th.
Explain the technology behind what he did.
Yeah, sure. So he did a piece on data brokers. So you guys remember Cambridge Analytica? That thing
What's a
that came
data
out?
broker?
I remember the name.
I'm an idiot.
What was that about?
So there was a big scandal where Facebook was taking all of its users' data and selling it to Cambridge Analytica.
What's wrong with
from
that?
Who you message, where you are, what type of device you're on, all kind of stuff like that.
What you buy, what you
buy.
like.
Everything you like, who your friends are, when you talk to them, how often, what
This
you
is
talk
real
about.
information. We're not kidding around right now.
The microphone permission on your phone, all the data that's...
Can I say one thing really quickly?
Yeah.
Because, you know,
absolutely.
history
Take the
repeats
smart
itself.
guy off his topic.
No. And I'm going to say that there was a movie a long time ago, and
man.
when the guy was walking through the street,
Yeah.
it would say, "Hello, Dave. Don't you want to go to Jamaica?"
That's
what movie was
Tom
that?
Cruise movie, AI or...
Yeah, and this was in the beginning of this, and before where you were at Cambridge.
Minority Report.
It was fascinating,
That's a
and I was
Spielberg
like,
movie.
"Look,
That was a
look,
great movie. It
is.
History repeats itself." Or in this particular case, history that movie predicted,
yeah.
but they knew that was coming.
And I mean, they weren't the first movie to do that. I mean, look at
Let's name the movie.
1984.
Let's name the movie so
Not
everybody
movie, but
knows.
the book,
Minority
1984.
Report.
Yeah.
With Tom Cruise. It's a fantastic movie. I highly recommend it.
Right.
But okay, so that
happened with
premise.
Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge Analytica bought all the data, and it was a huge scandal because Facebook didn't explicitly ask people if it was okay. They just
Right.
did.
You gave
remember
consent through I agree.
And yeah, somewhat. But what people didn't realize was how far that went.
And deep.
And yeah, so
It went all the way to dwarfbanger.com.
so it does, and you're absolutely
Scary.
right.
God
and
damn,
so here's the
dude.
thing: Facebook is the third largest advertising company in the world. If you,
Asshole.
I didn't know that.
yeah, Google is number one, by the way.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
NSA owns Google.
I don't
Yeah.
use Google, but
So-
go ahead.
It doesn't matter because
like Yahoo.
if
That's
you
our
go
buddy.
to any website, you see these banner ads, right? All these
Yes.
ads, you scroll past them, or you watch YouTube and the video plays, whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
transgender underwear, things like that.
And these ads use cookies. And the cookie, what it does, it's a little file that sits on your computer and keeps track of you. And it's useful. So, like, if you go to Amazon and put fucking condoms for kids in your cart, and then you
And they
leave
should
and go
have
back
them.
later, you
It'll
might
show
see
back
an
up.
ad for condoms for kids on another
God.
website because of that cookie.
Right.
Because the ad knows that you put that in your cart.
And the listening
So
device.
It tracks you. Right. And what these data brokers do is gather all these different sources of data up and sell it to advertisers
Yes.
so that
They can
and
target you.
right. So
oh, man. They
you
know everything.
Middle-aged white man interested in golf is going
Can't
to get
say white and don't say
advertisement
man.
for
Why
golf
white?
clubs.
Why did you have to say white?
And don't say golf.
What about older
But
white guy?
the point is, they know who you are, and the agreement that you have says that they're de-anonymizing that data before they give it out and sell it to advertisers. But the truth is, it's really, really easy to un-de-anonymize it.
Man. It's too easy.
So
Okay.
going back to what John Oliver did
it's a digital
this past Sunday,
sodomizing.
he bought a bunch of advertisements in the Washington, D.C. area targeting older middle-aged white men.
That has to be brought up. He was targeting.
He was targeting this demographic that, you know, in D.C. you're probably going to get a few Congress people. And they know your location when you're advertising. So he targeted areas within like a 20-mile radius of D.C., found a couple people in the Capitol building that actually clicked on his ad and
could
downloaded
you put in a
cookie.
good word with AOCs for me? I had a cool dream.
Yeah.
Wait, keep going because I'm
This is good.
concentrating.
This is actual.
Okay. So some Congress people apparently clicked on the ad that was targeted to them, which means
Wasn't it like 3 memes that had provocative questions?
yeah, one of them was like, you want to see porn of some senator, I forgot who.
Oh, gross. Nancy Pelosi.
I forget.
The House drinker.
No, it was a guy. It was like a erotic fan fiction of Ron Paul or something like that. I don't remember.
Sexy.
And anyway, so several Congress people allegedly clicked on this, which means they downloaded the cookie, and he can track like all kind of stuff of what they were doing.
How deep did it go?
Very deep. He didn't go into the details of what
It goes
he
deep.
specifically got, but I mean, a cookie, the technology, you can see every website you go to, where you access it from, what device you access it
Oh,
from.
I'm going to have to
How
leave
did
the country.
he know that was a senator? or
because the
they
location
target
was
them.
in the Capitol and it was targeted to older middle-aged white men. You can't know.
You don't know.
And it
You're
is freedom of
assuming.
choice.
Right.
You click on it.
There's this assumption.
So you may be wondering, how the fuck is that legal?
Yes.
Right? Which is crazy, because you might bring up like HIPAA laws. What if I search for birth control or something?
Yeah, who had an abortion?
Why don't
Right,
they have a day
exactly.
after pill for men?
But that's not a...
God dang it, I said men.
HIPAA doesn't
After.
apply in this situation because it's not a doctor. You know, it's not protected. You put
like
a thing in a
Fauci.
Google. So he said, you may be wondering how this is legal, and you're absolutely right. It should not be legal, which is why he targeted Congress people and is holding their data ransom and will release it unless they pass laws
Let me
to
see if I
protect
can channel
citizens' data.
John
Well, it's
Oliver.
blackmail.
It is
he's-
blackmail.
like,
Absolutely.
That's illegal.
Legal blackmail.
No, that's illegal.
He's like,
He legally
goes,
obtained the data.
I
though.
have all of your information, and I have your information, and if you don't want it to get out, then stop giving mine away. Bam, dude. Drop the mic. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And I love the fact that after, we got to bring up the Fresh Prince, man. The five,
Yeah.
what did the five fingers say to this face? I don't know, but there's Fresh Prince all over Chris Rock's face.
you
There's
don't
a lot
think
of
that was a setup?
it looked like it. And dude, because you know how I know it's a setup? Chris Rock would have had some funny stuff to come behind it had it been like real. Like, man, you slap like a pussy or something. He would have said something.
He just said, "Oh wow."
He goes, he slapped the shit out of me, but it did look staged. It looked like the Fresh Prince cocked his arm, and Chris Rock, if you'll slow it down, he goes way too far down. Like, he gets hit and he's like, goes to a knee. Give me a break.
Well, wait. No, he didn't go to a knee.
Kind of, if you slow it
took
down.
it.
He
If
goes,
that was real, he took it pretty well.
yeah, he did. It was fake, but it was all about Jada. And it was a joke about G.I. Jane because she had shaved her head. And by the way,
Alopecia.
she looks beautiful.
She does.
Even with a bald head, she looks beautiful.
Yeah.
In Baton Rouge,
She could eat crackers in Wes's bed anytime.
in Baton Rouge, there were these two girls that went to the school that my son went to, and they had no hair. What do you call it? Alopecia?
Well, if they had alopecia, I don't want to goof with them, but
No.
she
These
lied.
kids-
Jada does
these
not have
kids
alopecia.
Were beautiful.
She does not have alopecia.
I know. She's making.
She's faking it, dude.
Oh my God. Well, these kids had real alopecia, and I think one of them was homecoming queen.
Hey, let's start a conspiracy theory, and this is what I've heard about the whole thing. That there was some sort of weird Hollywood swinger thing going on, and that Chris Rock and Jada had hooked up, but Will's kind of a cuck. And so he was kind of in
all the time.
Yeah,
That
she's
was
a
open marriage.
Her stock,
open marriage.
stock is rising. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm
hey, can
talking
we call
about
Jada? Does she have a hotline we could call?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Just send out some emails or
she
send
looks
out
like
in the LA
some
area
advertisements.
about alopecia, and then we're going to pick her up on a cookie, and we're going
Right.
to figure out what the fuck she's
yeah, because we're
doing.
desperate to get like more international than we are, and this is the way to do it.
Jada's
Jada.
hot.
Jada is
Will. Hey, Will. Jada's hot. Come slap me because I'll sue the fuck out of you.
I
and I
will
won't have
kick
to work
his
anymore.
ass. Put that as a headline. Sweet D from the podcast challenges the Fresh Prince and the Wick Wack DJ that he is to come try that shit on me because I will kung fu his
Hey,
ass.
Will, I'm going to kick your ass
I will
and take
drop
your wife.
you, and parents just won't understand.
I'm going to kick your ass and take your wife. Come get me, loser. Because he's a loser.
Well, apparently there's a love triangle there, and that's where this whole thing kind of started.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'd be like, dude, you need to rephrase that because what about you don't say mouth and swinging and your
Mouth.
wife. If I was Chris Rock, and I've thought about this, and I have an ego, and So I'd have been embarrassed after the smackdown with the 5 fingers said to the face. I would have I thought of 8 jokes that would have just triggered the living shit out of him. It was like, dude, you slap like a pussy. No wonder your wife digs me more. Security.
Yeah, he never called for security.
Oh, and he did.
Security never showed up.
Will didn't get kicked out. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's called assault and battery.
That's assault, brother.
So here is the other thing that I thought about Will Smith. And I know somebody who had a personal...
I was a fan. I mean, there's 2 sides of the story, dude.
I'm so sad for him. He's so confused.
If some dude who has been banging your wife with you calls you out in front of everybody, why not go bitch slap him? I
know somebody I'm very close to, my wife, who had
I'm close to her too.
A encounter with Will Smith for hours.
Whoa, that's cool.
And she thought he was terrific. And he is terrific. So, but
did they get jiggy? Was he kicking chicken with it?
No, because his wife was there. His wife was there. And they were just doing the same thing on some, in Hawaii on this, tourist.
Oh, that's when you went on the Hawaii tour for the podcast.
That was. Maybe we remember those broadcasts. But what's interesting is she thought that guy was a total fucking gentleman. Because he is.
He seems like it.
He is.
Dude, and maybe he got jealous.
I'm a fan of his. But wait, so my thought is put yourself in his situation.
I know. I kind of have. That's why there's 2 sides to every story.
Okay, but wait. Go one step further and say, you're sitting at that table. You're at a featured table because you are nominee up for the biggest prize of the night.
Which you won.
Which he fucking won, which is...
Dude, drop the mic, slap a brother, and leave.
I love conspiracy theories because normally they turn out to be right. So the idea is you're sitting at that table with whoever those people were other than his wife.
Right.
And they're all sitting there looking pretty, perfectly prompt, pimped out, whatever you call it. They were... And so this happens... Think about you right now and your situation being
Sweet
in
D
that
would have
situation.
had to choke a bitch.
And the guy on stage says something, and then you have the audacity to stand up, walk onto the stage, let him know how you're feeling.
Just copying Kanye West.
And then walking back and sitting in the chair. Now, what's amazing
Kanye did
about
it better, I'm just saying. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, okay, but wait. Kanye is the same scenario, and you're sitting in your chair, and you start yelling, screaming, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
And if I'm Chris Rock, I say, "Keep your wife's what out of my fucking mouth?"
Yeah. Because it would have escalated, and Rock apparently, if he wasn't a part of it, he did really well to diffuse the situation. But my point is, Will Smith at that point in his life,
I think he's burned
in
out. In
that moment, thought the world evolves around him.
He's so desensitized to the environment he was in.
He is immune from everything other than this. All these fucking people here are here for me.
He got in the Fresh Prince copter and flew off.
It's crazy. So who got up and interrupted the
Kanye West?
Yeah. So Kanye West was either high as a kite and thought that was okay, or his ego is so big he thought that all those people.
It was a publicity stunt, and it was a damn good one.
All those people were there for him.
Well, he was trying to get Beyonce before Jay-Z got her. Before Jay-Z got her.
I don't remember that.
Jay-Z and Beyonce are married, and that's a super couple. I mean, amazing. The talent that they could just shoot out of their bodies for little kids is going to be amazing and beautiful. They're going to be beautiful kids. But that being said, I think it felt like Kanye was like trying to get Beyonce, because he said Taylor Swift, who I had a dream about as well. And that's no joke. These are the best dreams. Anyway, said that he was like respectful to her, but he goes, Beyonce should have won this award. It's a publicity stunt.
That's what it was?
Yeah, he goes, you're great. Okay. And he kind of pats her and taps her on the back, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And he said Beyonce should have won this.
Yeah. And that is unbelievably self-centered
and rude, dude.
If it wasn't a publicity stunt.
It's a publicity stunt, and I think it's a brilliant one.
It worked. I knew about it. I didn't know what he was talking about, but that is a scenario of intense. What do you call it when you're self-involved?
Ego.
Yeah.
And like, dude, nobody's fucking thinking about you. Wrap your head around that. Everybody's thinking about their own thing.
Okay, great point. But they are now. We are thinking about him now.
But
we are talking about him now
him.
on our internationally acclaimed podcast.
Which we're about to end soon.
Dude, we're up for a couple of international awards, and we thank everyone out there that's really taken us over the top.
We got 13 listeners.
Yeah,
now.
follow us on Facebook and YouTube, because
Facebook.
we have 9 subscribers on YouTube, and this is good, dude.
Fuck mega.
This is good. Russell
Meta.
Brand,
Meta.
Joe Rogan.
Sorry.
Forget about them.
Yeah,
You
fuck
got
'em.
Sweet D and the boys.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
This is exactly right.
Oh, and be ready out there for our next tour. We're on the Toxic Masculinity Tour right now, but our next one is Men Are Pigs, and guess what? They are.
We're going to Jamaica.
Jamaica, man. Blood, what are you doing, man?
Pessimism.show. Also, okay, Google, set a timer for 3 seconds from now.
Hey, Alexa, turn on the power of pessimism.
Wait, what does that mean? Did you just fuck us? Dude.
Everybody.
Oh, my God.
Thank y'all, and have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow.
You can't say that. It's copyrighted.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are exaggerated for comedic effect and do not necessarily reflect those held by any involved parties, including the hosts, producer, or R&R Mobile Recording. The contents and audio of this episode are copyrighted by R&R Mobile Recording, except where audio excerpts are played, of which the copyright is displayed in the episode description. For more information, please visit our official website at pessimism.rrmobilerecording.com.